Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good, hope you're keeping safe and well, and hope you're having a smashing Friday wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to get up to today. Bit of a change of scenery yet again, that is because I am out here in the beautiful Porto del Carmen in Lanzarote, having a great time, great people, great place. Honestly would recommend Lanzarote to anyone, especially where I am in Porto del Carmen. But I had to bring you this video, bringing to you guys your latest and your greatest Tottenham Hotspur transfer rumours, reports and updates, even if it's in a different setting. But look, let's start off by talking about Edmund Tapsoba and Van de Ven. We've been hearing for a few weeks that Spurs have been linked with these two defenders. We're hearing that Spurs now are in talks with both Wolfsburg and Leverkusen for Tapsoba and Van de Ven, and a final decision will be made soon on which centre-back Tottenham Hotspur want to sign. I've got one question. Why can't we sign them both? Genuinely, why can't we go out there and invest in both centre-backs? If we're so tired on which one we want, get them both. It would be two huge moves and two huge signings for the football club. And you look at that defence then, you'd have Romero, Tapsoba, Van de Ven and Davies. Those are four very, very solid options, in my opinion, for those two centre-back positions. I don't understand why we have to sign one. Just go out and sign Van de Ven, or just go out and sign Tapsoba. Sign both of them. If it was up to me and we had to sign one, I'd go with Tapsoba, but we don't have to sign one. We've got the budget and the money. I know we do. Look at Daniel Levy and Nick's net worth. Go out and sign both. Go out and sign both. Genuinely, it'd be two huge moves for the football club that would take us massively into the right direction. And yeah, I'd love to see us sign both. But look, the news we're hearing is that Spurs are going to make a final decision on which one they want. I'd say stop being indecisive and signing them both. But I think if you are to sign one, it would be Tapsoba. I think Tapsoba is a little bit more complete than Van de Ven right now. Both are young, exciting players, but I do think Tapsoba is a little bit more proven than Van de Ven. That's not to say that if Van de Ven joins us, he's not going to turn into the next Van Dijk, because he looks a very, very promising young player. But we've taken gambles on players such as Rodon before in the past who haven't really paid off. Tapsoba, you're not really taking a gamble. You're almost guaranteed a very, very solid player. I understand you'd have to pay a little bit more, which is why Spurs, if they are going to only sign one instead of both, will probably sign Van de Ven. But I think that that little bit more money will hugely contribute to how well we play next season. I think Spurs will play good football no matter the team we do have under Ange Postecoglou, but I think sorting out that defence can make us a lot more solid, and not only will we be playing entertaining football, we'll be winning games in these entertaining matches. So look, I hope we sign both. Do I think we'll sign both? Probably not. That's the news we're hearing from Romano, that Spurs are only going to choose to sign one. If I were to choose, I'd go with Tapsoba, but look, go out and get them both, man. Our defence is our weakest point in the team. I personally think we should have started off in the summer by strengthening our defence. I like Maddison. I think that's a huge transfer as an attacking midfielder. I think Vicario's a very, very good transfer, and we'll see what happens there. Solomon, bit of a gamble. You know, maybe a little bit underwhelming, but that could be what we need. An underwhelming signing who turns out to be a superstar down the line. But before all of that, personally, I would have went in for centre-backs, and I was all right with those transfers because I like the players we've brought in, as long as we bring in one or two centre-backs. And look, if we are to bring in one centre-back, I've always said it has to be a top-quality centre-back. And is Tapsoba a world-class centre-back? No, but is he a very, very good centre-back? Yes. So if we are to choose one of the two, personally, I'd go with Tapsoba. I like Van de Ven. That's why I just say get them both. Get them both. Then you've got a young, exciting player in Van de Ven and another young, exciting player in Tapsoba who's a little bit more proven. So if one goes tits up, you've got the other one who can step in and do a good job. But look, I'd like to sign them both. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Would you like to sign both? And if you were to choose which one, which seems that Spurs are going to do, who would you go with, Tapsoba or Van de Ven? But the news from Romano is that Spurs are in talks with both Leverkusen and Wolfsburg over the Dutch centre-back and the Burkina Faso centre-back. But look, comment your thoughts down below, and we'll swiftly move on to the next piece of news that has come out this morning, in that Tottenham Hotspur are willing to sell Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg is on Tottenham Hotspur's clear-out list this summer, and Atletico Madrid are very interested in the Danish midfielder. Look, I'm open to selling Hojbjerg. I am open to selling Hojbjerg. I know there's a lot of Spurs fans who absolutely love this guy, you know, really rate him highly. I don't dislike him, but I don't rate him very highly. I think he's very, very, very prone to making a mistake. I don't think he's as solid. And, you know, people like to compare him to people like Keane and proper hard man in midfield. He's just not that. He's just not that. He's not afraid to put in a tackle, but he's just not that. And he's very, very complacent. But I'd be willing to sell him. I would be. But would he be on the list of the first few players that I'd get out? No. Why are we not looking to sell Dyer? I know we're looking to sell Sanchez potentially. And the day that happens will be one hell of a day. But, you know, there's so many other players in that Spurs team. Like I say, I'm open to selling Hojbjerg. I don't think he's the best player, but I don't think he's terrible. So I don't understand why we're looking to sell the likes of Hojbjerg and Perisic first when we should be looking to sell the likes of Dyer and Sanchez first, a real deadwood in the team. Then you can start selling more squad players. But it's the way Tottenham operate. I don't understand how Dyer gets a free pass every summer. He's clearly one of the worst players in this Spurs team, yet he never seems to get sold. And no manager seems to want to let him go. But I don't understand that. I don't understand why we're not looking to sell players like that before we look to sell Hojbjerg. Like I say, I'm open to letting Hojbjerg go because I don't rate him that highly. I do think he's fairly complacent. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. But in the season just gone, he made a lot of mistakes and put in a fair few lazy and poor performances. So I would be willing to let him go. But I think there's a lot of players who aren't decent like Hojbjerg are and are just pathetic and very, very poor. The likes of Dyer, Sanchez. Give Davies a chance. I won't put him on that list, but the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, people like that. But look, Sessegnon's another one. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Are you open to selling Hojbjerg to Atletico Madrid, or do you prefer to keep the Danish midfielder at Tottenham Hotspur? And the final piece of news we are going to discuss, it's not transfer news necessarily, but it interested me. Reading a few reports this morning, Richarlison's done an interview, I believe, and he spoke a little bit about his relationship with Conte. And in the season just gone, you could tell that those two weren't on the best of terms. You could, even though nothing was really confirmed, you could tell by some of the interviews Richie did, especially that one after we got knocked out of the Champions League by Milan. And Richie's come out and said he had a fair few fights with Antonio Conte. I don't believe they were physical. They may have been, but you know, a lot of disagreements between Conte and Richarlison, a few bust-ups between them. Richarlison said that Conte wanted to prove himself as a firm manager who's got control over the dressing room. And yeah, you know, you could tell something was going on there. You could tell that those two didn't really like each other and there was some friction. But look, it's all come out now. It's not news I'm surprised by, but it is interesting. It is interesting. And hopefully, like I say, Richarlison steps up under Ange Postecoglou. Look, I'm not going to question the serial winner in Antonio Conte, but I think a lot of these, I say old school, a lot of these managers who have been managing for a fair amount of time need to understand that some players just need an arm around them instead of being battered. Some players, you batter them like a haddock down the local chip shop and they wake up and start playing unbelievable football. But some of them need an arm around them. Some of them need, you know, encouragement that they're better than they are. And Richarlison's one of those. And I don't think Conte realised it. And Jose's done it with a fair few players. Some of these old school managers, and who am I really to question them, but it's just my personal opinion, need to understand that some players just need an arm around them and encouragement instead of being battered, because different players almost have different needs. Different things work with different players. And look, that's my, those are my opinions and thoughts on that news story. But look, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you for watching this video. You're going to head out in the beautiful sunshine. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Comment your thoughts on all the latest transfer rumours, reports and news. And as always, come on you Spurs. Enoch and Levy out. In Postecoglou, we trust. Up the Spurs.